Good morning, everybody. Today is my 35th birthday, so I just want to say happy birthday to me. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, for life. Thank you, God, for life. Very happy to still be here. So, yeah, now that I got that out the way, I've come to continue my conversation about Colin Kaepernick, Jay-Z. It's just a different angle I wanted to take on this, or more or less something I wanted to add to that conversation. So I've been hearing a lot about the settlement that Kaepernick took in regards to his lawsuit against the NFL in regards to him being kept out of the league or blackballed, as some have used. Um, so for me, it's like this: the NFL, I believe, this is all speculation because we don't have any facts. I believe they understood that this would create some discord between the movement and Kaepernick, which is why it's so disappointing that Kaepernick agreed to the deal. I was listening to my son, MC from New York, who's now turned his voice and his platform to social issues and you know, freedom fighting, things of that nature. That's what he stands for. He was on his live basically expressing the fact that he was with Kaepernick and, you know, from the beginning, the very beginning. And more or less his stance was, after Kaepernick took the settlement, he was left in the dark just like everybody else in that clique, that surrounding. They weren't told how much Kaepernick made or what to do next in regards to the fight. They were sitting up there holding the picket sign for him, and all of a sudden he takes money and shuts up. Again, I said it, man. I was skeptical of Kaepernick as it pertains to what he was doing from the beginning, because I thought that he was almost out of the league, and I thought at this point he might have been slightly desperate and saw an opportunity based on circumstances socially to be a symbol, and he took advantage of that, and it took him on a journey that far exceeded what he was expecting. That is my opinion of Kaepernick. I don't know enough about him, obviously, as a person to say what he's capable of or what his heart is about and all of that. But what I will say is opportunity meets circumstance meets perfect niche and equals, you know, a lot. So if you want to apply that formula, you can say that he took advantage of some situations, regardless of where his heart was. It might have been a perfect storm. I feel strongly, and this can allow me an opportunity to, you know, to and that's the thing, to what, to be famous, to be a freedom fighter, to be back in the NFL. You just don't really know, because he hasn't really said, so it's hard to gauge what it is that he wanted, or most, or even what he's thinking, because all you really see is little clips of him talking, and this is what I stand for, this is what I believe in, and then he's quiet. So that was my thing. It was a little suspect, but I think the aspect of this that I'm looking most at is we got to stop letting, and when I say we, I mean black people, we got to stop letting them use us against one another. We don't see the tactics. Do you not see this clear as day, folks? The NFL silenced Kaepernick. They said, okay, we'll give you a settlement, but this has to work in our favor in terms of the narrative. So we're going to silence you. And what that will do is make it so that your people don't trust you anymore, and thus snatching the integrity from your mission. He allowed them to do that to you. Let's just call it what it is. Which makes me further question his integrity. Why, if you really felt that way in terms of how strongly you're going about this fight, then you would understand that taking that settlement and agreeing to those terms is snatching some of your fight away from you. It's snatching the trust that you have amongst the people that are fighting with you from them. If I'm saying that clearly, and they knew that. So while giving him whatever undisclosed amount of money might have been a hard pill to swallow, they made it so that the terms were very much worth the pay. And that is why we need to be savvy as to not be greedy as a people, because they use that greed against us. Here we go again with Jay-Z. Same thing. They used his greed against him. They waved a very, very nice, shiny check in his face, told him that his celebrity should be able to create some common ground between the two parties. He believed that because he's the great Jay-Z, exalting himself, having never done much wrong in his business dealings, decided that he could be the solution to an impossible conflict, and then proceeded to allow them to use him as a puzzle piece to further discredit the movement. That is what has happened here. You ever see in movies or in cartoons where they'll put a $20 bill, $100 bill, whatever it is, and they'll tie a string to it, and they'll use it to lure someone? And they put the string out there, they throw the dollar in front of the person, and they drag the dollar a little bit, and the person chases the dollar, and they drag it a little further, and the person chases the dollar, and eventually that person finds himself in a trap based on their chase of that damn dollar. Jay-Z, that's what they've done to you, bro. They did that. They used your greed and your ego against you, because they knew that if you got on that stage or in that platform, answered those questions, it would pin you against your own people. And they could pervert your message and what it is that you're about, just like they perverted what the kneeling was about, to further discredit. This is what they do. Just like they wanted to discredit Kaepernick by offering him $1. Wag, wag, wag. And then creating the circumstances for which he is now silenced based on taking that dollar. It was probably an offer he couldn't refuse. I wouldn't be surprised if it was over $300 million to keep that man quiet. And we'll never know the terms, because that was the terms. But this is what happens when you take the bag from the devil. He's going to make it so that it's worth it to him. Okay? That is the name of the game. So if you're a greedy son of a gun, you got to understand that when you're playing chess, sometimes you got to leave certain bags on the table just to keep in the game, to stay in the game. That's the lesson we're all learning today. As a black community especially, we see the tactics. They played Jigga, they played Cap, they played us. And it makes it look like we all are fighting against one another when it's really them just, pulling strings. And you got to be smart enough to know how they're using your own energy against you. Because if we come together, stop giving so much of a damn about money and more so about respect and what it is that we're actually fighting for, not only will we get what we're looking for, but we'll also have business dealings that they will work with us, because they will realize they can't maneuver around us. They will have to work with us. But as long as you continue to yield to these stupid ass tactics where they keep on using your greed and your ignorance against you, you're going to continue to find yourself on the back end of whatever it is that you're in. That's the bottom line. We got to stop being so damn greedy as a people. We're not owning anything. The practices from which we're receiving money as a whole is going right back into their systems, right back into their hands. We take money and we give it back. That's why I'm, even though I'm not turning down any money and I'm on board for reparations, I think we all need to learn as a whole and as a community how to best use our money within our community properly across the board before we're ready to take in reparations to assure that it stays in our families for years and years and years. I believe if you give the wrong generation reparations, that money's going right back into the hands it came from, and it's going to multiply from there, and we're going to find ourselves just as broke as we was before it happened. Because it's little shit like this, because we can't seem to figure out the tactics that they use. Even the smartest of us, Jay-Z, who I think is one of the most smart, brilliant African Americans in the world, they used the same old pickaninny tactics against this Negro, and it worked. Here's $1. Turn on your own people. Okay. Hey, Kaepernick, you got a good fight on your hand. Here's a boatload of money. But shut your mouth. They did that shit, and look what it is. Look where it is now. We fighting, trying to figure out which one of their sides we on. They all getting checks from the NFL. Do you understand this? Not that I have a problem with it, because I don't. But Eric Reed's getting money from the NFL. Kaepernick's getting money from the NFL. Jigga's getting money from the NFL. They're all NFL employees. They got these dudes by the balls, man. Don't y'all see it? We sitting up here debating tactics. They all employees of the NFL, one way or another. Either they silenced from settlement money, silenced from settlement money, or doing deals on the other aspect of it. They're separating the sides, people. This is divide and conquer. This is the same old shit. And that is why, and I've heard people say, well, what does the NFL have to do with social issues? But they're using the same tactics. The entities up top, they do the same stuff over and over again in regards to dealing with African Americans. This is a tactic that's been used since slavery. That's why we don't separate the NFL from the social issues, because they're the same freaking people, and it shows based on the attitude, based on the behavior. We know it's the same people. It's the same people. These are the same people who are in positions of power to do things differently that we don't have enough leverage to force their hand, and that's the only thing they'll respect because they don't have much of a heart. That is what I've gathered. Same people. Same entity. It's just an understanding across the board of how to treat blacks, Mexicans, etc. And they use these same old freaking tactics, and we keep on falling for them. It's time to stop. It's basically where I'm getting at. Your greed is killing us. That's it. That's what this boils down to, black folks. Your greed is killing you. They know how to use that shit against you. Stop allowing them to. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. We don't have a fight if we continue to take offers that we quote unquote can't refuse from the devil, from the enemy. You cannot win a war that way. You have to sacrifice something. And if you don't, you're positioned a certain way where they can move you around. Okay, he's greedy. I know how to work with him. His integrity is slight. Okay, we can work around that. You got to stop giving them passes, people. Jigga. Don't give these people no pass. Just because you're wealthy don't mean that they won't still have a stranglehold on your ancestors 2, 3, 4 generations down the road. Black man, don't you get this shit? Just because you get rich and you leave money for your family don't mean that they're going to have that shit. There are things you have to do integrity-wise to assure the safety of your people. Nah, it ain't all in a bag. That's my thing with Stephen A. Smith. And he always puts money first. That's why his takes seem like they're always against the African-American community every time he opens his mouth in regards to certain things, because he's thinking money first. Money is his God. Money can't be your God. Jigga's proving right now why money ain't enough for us. You can have all the money in the world. They will still screw you over. They'll still know how to mess with you. It ain't just money. If you're a capitalist and everything boils down to a buck, fam, they will use that against you. Every time. They've been doing it for years. They know how to deal with that kind of shit. And they have more capital than you'll ever be able to gain. That's the point I'm trying to make. They have more capital than you'll ever be able to gain. You have to keep your integrity in order to gain leverage. And until we get on that side of thought, we are going to be in the back of the bus. They're using our evil against us, black people. That's all I got to say, man. Hope everybody's enjoying their day. I feel good about this video. I feel good about being 35. And most importantly, I feel awake. I feel woke. They're all NFL employees at the end of the day. Keep your integrity, people. PDF.